In view of all this, our great distress and your covenant faithfulness, our wickedness and your righteousness, in view of all this, we are making a binding agreement. We are putting it in writing, and our priests, our leaders, our Levites and our priests are affixing their seals to it. Those who sealed it were Nehemiah the governor, the son of Hakaliah, Zedekiah, Sariah, Azariah, Jeremiah, Pashur, Amariah, Malchijah, Hattush, Shabaniah, Maluk, Harim, Meremoth, Obadiah, Daniel, Ginnathan, Baruch, Meshullam, Abijah, Mijaman, Maziah, Bilgai, and Shemaiah. These were the priests. Conspicuously absent from this list is Ezra, but he would have been included in one of the family tribes. These are family names, really is what they are, so he's included in one of those family names there. The Levites. Jeshua, son of Azaniah, Binwi, son of the sons of Henadad, Kadmiel, and their associates, Shebaniah, Hodiah, Kelata, Peliah, Hanan, Micah, Rahab, Hashabiah, Zechar, Sherebiah, Shebaniah, Hodiah, Bani, and Bedini. The leaders of the people, so the lay people, not the priests or the Levites. Parosh, Pahath Moab, Elam, Zatu, Bani, Buni, Azgad, Debal, Adonijah, Bigvai, Adin, Ater, Hezekiah, Azur, Hodiah, Hashum, Bezai, Harif, Anathoth, Nebai, Magpiash, Meshullam, Hazir, Meshzabal, Zadok, Jadua, Palatia, Hanan, Ananiah, Hosea, Hananiah, Hashub, Halohesh, Piha, Shobek, Rehum, Hashabana, Masiah, Ahiah, Hanan, Anan, Maluk, Harim, and Bana. Almost don't have any more of those I have to go through. Another set of lists in the next chapter, 11. And that'll be it. And then that'll be it. A little bit in 12, too, it seems. We're not going to finish Nehemiah today. I'm going to get to the chapter 10, and that'll be it. The rest of the people, priests, Levites, gatekeepers, singers, temple servants, and all who separate themselves from neighboring peoples for the sake of the Lord their God, the law of God, together with their wives and all the sons and daughters who are able to understand. All these now join their brothers the nobles and bind themselves with a curse and an oath to follow the law of God given through Moses, the servant of God, and to obey carefully all the commands, regulations, and decrees of the Lord our Lord, of Jehovah Adonai, basically. So a curse and an oath. So they're vowing to do something, and they're vowing to be cursed if they don't follow through on that vow. We promise not to give our daughters in marriage to the peoples around us, or take their daughters for our sons. When the neighboring peoples bring merchandise or grain to sell on the Sabbath, we will not buy from them on the Sabbath or on any holy day. There are more holy days than just the Sabbath. New moons are holy days. Some of these festival days are holy days. The Sabbath was the most common one because it happened every week, but there were other holy days besides the Sabbath. Every 7th year we will forego working the land, and we will cancel all debts. We assume the responsibility for carrying out the commands to give 1/3 of a shekel each year for the service of the house of our God, for the bread set out on the table, for the regular grain offerings and burnt offerings, that's the one they offered every day on behalf of the entire nation, and for the offerings on the Sabbaths, new moon festivals, and appointed feasts. Those are the holy days. For the holy offerings, for sin offerings, to make atonement for Israel. Again, the priests offer those every day. And for the duties of the house of our God. We, the priests, the Levites, and the people, have cast lots to determine when each of our families is to bring to the house of our God at set times each year a contribution of wood to burn on the altar of the Lord our God, as is written in the law. They were supposed to keep the fires in the temple burning all the time, because that would have required a constant supply of fuel and wood, and nobody actually wanted to go cut wood. So they had to have a rotating system where people would have duties to cut wood every, a week or two every year, because no one's going to want to actually cut wood. That's the lowliest of all the lowly jobs. We also assume responsibility for bringing to the house of the Lord each year the first fruits of our crops and of every fruit tree. As is also written in the law, we will bring the firstborn of our sons and of our cattle, of our herds and of our flocks to the house of our God, to the priest ministering there. Moreover, we will bring to the storerooms of the house of our God, to the priests, the first of our ground meal, of our grain offerings, of the fruit of all our trees, and of our new wine and oil. And we will bring a tithe of our crops to the Levites, for it is the Levites who collect the tithes in all the towns where we work. A priest descended from Aaron is to accompany the Levites when they receive the tithes, and the Levites are to bring a tenth of the tithes up to the house of our God, to the storerooms of the treasury. So the tithe is a tenth of all the people bring, and then of that tenth, they take another tenth to the temple. The Levites get to use the rest of that tenth, and the tenth of that tenth goes to the temple. The people of Israel, including the Levites, are to bring their contributions of grain, new wine, and oil to the storerooms where the articles of the sanctuary are kept, and where the ministering priests, the gatekeepers, and the singers stay. We will not neglect the house of our God. Now, I wish we could just end right there. I'm done for the day. I didn't really divide these lessons up very well, so I'll probably have to edit these when I finally get around to posting them in another 2 years or whatever it's going to be. I got 3 chapters left. We're almost done. I wish we could just end right there. That'd be a happy ending, wouldn't it? They finally repented. They finally had the prototype come to Jesus moment. They're not coming to Jesus, but they are repenting, confessing their national sin, and they're binding themselves to a new covenant agreement to do better. I wish I could say that's it. That's not. As we're going to find out as we continue reading, it doesn't take very long before they forget this new binding agreement and go right back to not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. But we'll get to that next time, because I've been reading a lot today and I just don't quite have it in me to finish the book of Nehemiah. One more day. Nehemiah 11 to 13, still to come. We'll try to get that done tomorrow. I don't think there's any reason why we won't be able to do that tomorrow.